How dare Stephen King say this is the best American horror film in the last 20 years? This is a pile of garbage. Today we're talking about Let Me In from 2010. Apparently I'm the only one that feels this way. It had an 89% tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. It had a 76% popcorn meter. Clearly, audience and critics loved this film. I fucking hated it. A 7.1 on IMDb. This is not a good movie. I did not like this at all. Written for screen and directed by Matt Reeves, who did Cloverfield. The film stars Cody Smith-McPhee, Chloe Grace Moritz, and Richard Jenkins. Based on a Swedish novel and based on a already previously released Swedish movie called Let the Right One In, which is a way better title. Let Me In was released in 2010, and Stephen King said it was a genre-busting triumph. He said it was the best American horror film in the last 20 years. And I'm here to tell you he's fucking wrong. With a budget of $20 million, this film grossed $27 million worldwide. Not a box office smash by any means, but considered for an indie film a success. This is a remake, as mentioned, of a Swedish film called Let the Right One In, which many critics say this was completely unnecessary, and the first one is much better. After reading a few reviews, I haven't watched the first, but after reading a few reviews, I tend to agree with that. This is very dumbed down and very mild compared to the things that were going on in the Swedish version. This film is about a 12-year-old boy who gets bullied constantly and befriends the new 12-year-old girl vampire who moves in next door. A girl who for the last 40 years has been dating and fucking clearly a pedo, and for some reason she catches feelings for the new 12-year-old boy. Maybe it's because the old man is tired of feeding her, or he's getting too frail to do the jobs that are needed to do, but she starts chasing after young blood and fresh meat. So yeah, this is a weird story about a love triangle between two 12-year-olds and a 55-year-old man. Why did this get good ratings again? There are no jump scares. It's just creepy, ominous atmosphere, the sound, the setting, the dark atmosphere, the ambiance of it is just creepy. There's no jump scares. It's not a horror film. There's lots of blood, but there's so much ridiculous shit that I hate. To start the film, there's several shots that are either out of focus or not focused on the right object. This is an art film masquerading as a horror film. I don't understand why people like this. Finally, halfway through the movie, the vampire makes its first kill, and it's jumping around the victim all over its back and its body. Why? I don't like that shit. Like, I want a classic vampire. You bite. What else you gotta do? You don't need to run around and jump all over it. Every kill it does is just absurd. There's a scene where a recently turned vampire, because the vampire in the movie didn't get a chance to finish the job, so she turns into a vampire, but she turns into a vampire in a hospital room, and when she looks down, she sees a little bit of blood, and she starts feeding off of herself, which, what vampire lore is that from? Why would she feed off of herself? Then a nurse comes in and opens up the window, which, as we all know, sunlight, she spontaneously combusts, and it is the worst fucking special effects I've ever seen. This is 2010. They looked like they were from 1970. The fire that engulfs the nurse and the lady on the bed who recently turned into a vampire, it's just the cheesiest shit ever. It looks, honestly, like they lit up a lighter in front of the camera. It just looks like shit. This is a very slow-paced movie, almost to the extent of it being boring. Again, it's about a 12-year-old boy, and there's a lot of scenes where he actually gets bullied, and the bullying is pretty severe, which critics love that shit. That's why it got a good review. I'm baffled at the 76% popcorn meter. Why did fans like this? I don't like this movie. I don't see any horror in this movie. I think it's an art film about morality, nature versus nurture, bullying, adolescence, coming of age. There's a vampire for no damn reason. Oh yeah, and the pedo thing. The score was done by Michael Giacchino, and it's a good score. It's a classic horror score, But honestly, it's way overdone. It felt like for the entire 115-minute runtime, there was some sort of music in the background. There's never silence to let a scene build or a moment land. It's constantly just in your face with this musical score. It's constant strings, constant little tingles in the background. There's not a moment where there's just silence to focus on the intensity of the movie. It's a good score, but Jesus, man, beaten to death like a dead horse. Not only does this movie kind of suck, it's impossible to come up with 5 facts just about this film. I'm going to try. Fact number 5, it was filmed in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Cool. Fact number 4, when she was walking through the snow between takes, it was real snow and they had to warm her feet afterwards. All right. Fact number 3, I've already told you, it's a remake of a 2008 Swedish film. Like, it's impossible. It's not a good movie, and there's not any interesting facts about it. It's not an interesting film. So, for our last 2 facts, the only true interesting things is we're going to do a comparison between the original and this. Again, I haven't watched the original, but this one is dumbed down for an American audience, and a lot of the sensitive things were taken out of it, which, again, why make this film if you have to dumb it down and you have to remove all of the interesting shit? So, interesting fact number 2 about Let Me In. In the original film, the caretaker played by Richard Jenkins is very much confirmed to be a pedo. Like, their relationship, she didn't groom him as a child. He was in it for touching a minor. Like, it's a little more vulgar and disturbing, which I think probably would have saved this film. I think I'd probably really like watching the original. I don't know if I'm going to. I felt like I wasted 2 hours with this shit. But let me know in the comments below, is the original really that much better? I'll give it a go. And interesting fact number 1 about Let Me In. In the original film, it is not Abby, it is Eli, who is a castrated male. So brings a whole new light to that "what if I wasn't a girl" comment in this movie. Just saying, like, why make this film if you've got to make it a girl, you've got to change all this shit, just leave it alone. That's why I gave air quotes to Writer by Matt Reeves earlier, because he just stole the original and cut out all the good shit. If you can't tell, I did not like this movie. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10 on the must-watch meter. I think the original is probably a 6 or a 7. Again, haven't watched it. There's no reason to waste your time with this shit. I don't know what Stephen King was smoking. 0 out of 5 for our Halloween jump scare meter. 1 out of 5 for our chills meter. It's a vampire, but it's not chilling. And 3 out of 5 for the gore meter, just because there is a lot of blood. So I'll give it credit where credit is due. When I got home the other night, I wanted to watch a horror film. It's October, so I was down to this and one other movie, and I chose this because Stephen King said it was the best horror movie, American horror movie, made in the last 20 years. And I'm here to tell you, it's not a horror movie. It's an art house film. It's not an American movie. It's a Swedish film. And it's not the best of anything. It's not even the best version of this movie. I don't know what the hell, how they got Stephen King to say this. Do not watch this film this Halloween. It is not scary. It is not good. Let me in. Let me the fuck out.